friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Melissa with the Stamping Ninja, and today I have a birthday card for you. It's made with the Sweetest Citrus bundle and also includes a small little piece of the Delightfully Eclectic DSP. So we're gonna make this together, and if you're ready, let's get started. All right, so here's a close-up look of the card. Very cute, has lots of nice texture to it. Had to make a whole bunch of these for what we call a demonstrator swap. Our demonstrators get together and we make cards and trade. So I thought, I made so many of these and I thought they were really cute. I wanted to share them with you and thought you might enjoy making them as well. So the first thing you're going to need is a card base in crushed curry cardstock. So it is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock scored at 4 1/4. And I just like to burnish my edges here with my bone folder. The next thing you're going to need is a 4" by 5 1/4 piece of crushed curry cardstock, and we are going to sandwich it into the Sweet Citrus Hybrid folder and run it through our machine. What you get is this gorgeous textured little paper with all the fun citrus on it. So this, we're going to hold that for just a minute. You're also going to need a piece of Designer Eclectic Designer Series paper, the one with the cute little lemons on it. And that measures 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. And you're also going to need a piece of Old Olive cardstock that measures 2 3/4 by 4. These two pieces will get layered. So go ahead and adhere your piece together here. I like to use multi-purpose liquid glue. Lets me move it around just a little bit before it sets in place. So we got that. Now we're going to adhere this to the card. And for this, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal because the texture that it's going on to is embossed, and so I want to make sure it has a nice good hold and doesn't come off. So just like that, about 1/4 inch on both sides, and then this piece is going to go on top of your card base, and we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to do that. So I like to put them in all 4 corners. And the long side here. And a couple for good measure in the middle. All right. These little guys, I know there are many different ways to take them off. I've seen some people use their take your pick tool, but I just like to use my fingernail. So this will go on your card base, just like so. And that's the foundation that we got there. Next, we're going to stamp. So for stamping, you're going to need a 1/2 inch by a 4 1/2 inch piece of basic white cardstock, and then some scrap piece of basic white cardstock. You're going to need your Memento black ink for the sentiment, and that's going to go not all the way to the left, but just maybe 1/2 inch away from it. Have a zesty birthday, just like that. I'll set that aside. Now we're going to stamp our citrus. For the citrus, it's one big stamp. Well, I should say it's 2 stamps. One is the flesh, and then the other one is the rind, but all of the citrus are tied together on one stamp. So for this one, we're only going to use 2 of them. I use this little oblong one and the little half. And that is going to be in crushed curry. So just inking up 2 of my stamps. Nice and juicy. I'm going to stamp off. And then onto my paper, like so. So that's for the flesh. For the rind, we're going to use Daffodil. Oh, got here. Daffodil Delight. And it's the same. I'm only inking up half my stamp. And if you'll notice, I did the inside first, the detail, because that's how I prefer to stamp. I'd rather stamp around my image than try to make the detail fit inside my outline. So this way is much easier for me. So now we have our 2 lemon. And to make these lemons look a little bit more detailed, I don't know if you can see it here, but around the edges there's a different color of yellow in there. I did that with my Stampin' Blend, and this is my Daffodil Delight Light Stampin' Blend. So I just made just a little quick color around the perimeter of the rind, like so. I saw another demonstrator do this technique some time ago, and I didn't think to write down her name to give her credit for it. I just thought it was a brilliant idea. Now what I'm doing here is just giving some detail to the inside of this. And it doesn't really matter how clean or how perfect you make it, because when we cut it out with the hybrid folder, it's going to cover up some of those imperfections, as I like to call them. Okay, so there's that. Now to cut your citrus out. To cut your citrus out, we're going to cut it and emboss it at the same time. I have found the easiest way to do that is to first put your die. Again, it's one big die for all of the fruit. Line your die up onto where you want to cut it out. And then you're going to take a piece of removable tape. Right now I'm just using this Post-it labeling cover-up tape. It holds my dies in place. Sometimes it leaves a little bit of sticky residue on it, but usually if I just give it a good rub with my fingers, it'll come off. So I'm just going to put that piece of tape right there and hold that die in place. Then you're going to take your hybrid folder. Stampin' Up is on top, so go ahead, open it up. You're going to flip this over and line up that lemon right there with the big one right there. It's kind of like sets in place. Then close it up, and we're going to run it through our machine. So after you run it through the machine, you'll have your 2 little lemons here, and you'll notice that they're nice and textured, and you can see that little bit of detail that we did in there. Gives them a little more realistic look, I think. So on another piece of scrap paper, we're going to stamp our leaves and our flowers. So for the leaves, you're going to need 2 sets, and this is in Garden Green. And then for the flowers, these itty bitty white flowers right here, there's this little stamp with the 2 little dots. That's the one that I'm using, and I'm doing it in crushed curry. So we're going to need 3 flowers. So I just did a set there and a set there. That'll actually give us 4 flowers, but the die comes in the set as well. Actually, there's 2 of them, and they're in 3 little bunches. So for these, I just lined up those 2 little flowers right there, and I held it in place with my tape. And since there's 2 sets in there, I actually did both of them at the same time. So I'm gonna go run these through the machine, cut these out. And so you have your 2 leaves and your 3 little flowers. For the little flowers, I just went ahead and give them a little curl here with my fingers. Give them more of a realistic look coming off that card. Super easy to do. You can do that with any flower on any of your cards. See the difference? Oh, this one kind of pops up and this one's nice and flat. So, I like to give it a little bit of pop up. All right, so back to our card. Oh, there it is. I lost my sentiment for a minute. So for this one, I just took my snips, cut a little diagonal like that, and then glued it onto the card, again with my multi-purpose liquid glue. Somewhere about there. Do you see that? Got it a little crooked. That glue allows me to straighten it out before it sets. Okay, so now we just need to glue our lemons together. And this one, using multi-purpose liquid glue, does make it a little bit easier. Allows you some leeway here. So just glued those 2 together. And they're gonna sit right here. So for the leaves, what I did to make sure that they fit onto the card, just put a little bit of glue on there. Just kind of lifted it a bit. Set it like that, just to make sure that it'll fit in an envelope. And then I did the same thing for this one. A little bit of glue, and it's going to set right about there. So then I just put some dimensionals on the back of this. As you can see, I had some bad stamping, so wasn't about to waste my cardstock. But that's okay. Nobody sees that side anyway. And I'm putting these dimensionals on the edge of this leaf to help reinforce it, just like so, so it doesn't come unglued. Just like so. And make sure it lines up again, it's not hanging off anywhere. Just like that. And for our little flowers here, I use the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. They are a perfect fit for the back of these flowers. Okay. It really doesn't matter where you put these. I like to put my embellishments in the shape of a triangle. So if I have one here, I'm going to put one here, and that means the other one's going to land somewhere down here. Nice little triangle shape. And to finish it, I'm going to be using some iridescent pearl basic jewels. Thought these were nice. Add a little bit of shimmer, but doesn't take away from the flowers or all the detail of the lemons. So 3 of these little guys, one about there, one there, and then my third one, which makes a triangle again, right there. So that's it. Pretty easy, huh? Hopefully you liked it, and I'm looking forward to making some more cards with you. Take care. Bye-bye.